Hey, good evening, Michigan. Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritsma here with a forecast update for your Tuesday, February 25th. It is a very nice day. It was a very nice day out there today, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We are going to dive right into some temperatures for the next couple days, plus a couple chances for some rain, snow, maybe a little bit of a mixed precipitation, and perhaps a chance for some thunderstorms tomorrow. So we'll dive right into it here first with a look at your temperatures off the GFS the next couple days. Today, obviously, we had temperatures in the 50s for portions of southern Michigan. It'll cool down to near freezing overnight. And then by the time we wake up and go through the day on Wednesday or tomorrow, temperatures will be right around that freezing mark, perhaps a little bit warmer. The warm front gradient is actually going to be very sharp between portions of West Michigan and portions of southern Michigan. There you can see temperatures down there by the border are, they're ranging from 35 to about 55. And that will bring the chance for some mixed precipitation as this is in the vicinity of a low pressure. And as you can see elsewhere in the state, temperatures are going to stay pretty low in the low 30s, maybe in the 20s throughout the day. We move into Thursday, cold front swoops in behind. Temperatures stay rather cool, perhaps another chance of some precipitation along this trough here. And then we have another clipper perhaps moving in for our weekend time frame. It looks like the warm sector is going to stay primarily for most of Lower Peninsula, perhaps a lot colder for up north. And this sharp cutoff with these pressure gradients being so close together could result in some significant accumulations, perhaps up there for the UP. And we'll dive into the amounts here in just a second. But then as that low moves off to the east, you can see actually low temperatures zooming back into the region, temperatures back down near zero overnight. Temperatures elsewhere for highs during the day in the teens to 20s. And then we warm back up into the next week. You get some relief starting March 3rd, March 4th, temperatures back up into the 40s. So it looks like a little bit of a cool stretch here following a cold front starting on Friday into Saturday. Looking at precipitation probabilities from the WPC over the next couple days here between tonight this should be through Wednesday, tomorrow night, into Saturday. You can see this is the probabilities of at least an inch of snow, relatively low throughout the state. Again, we have a little bit of a clipper coming through tomorrow that could focus on some snow in perhaps the central Michigan region and over towards the thumb. Amounts right now are supposed to be light. We'll show that in our snowfall map here in a second. Then as you move into Thursday, Friday, more of those clippers and troughs kind of move through and bring perhaps even larger amounts of precipitation, as mentioned. Even by time you get into Saturday, those odds of seeing at least over an inch of snow skyrocket to near 80 to 90% for portions of northern lower and the UP. If we bump it up all the way to 6 inches here, you can see that is still a possibility as we get into the weekend time frame. But again, that will be primarily for portions of the UP. Switching into our models here of what the precipitation totals could look like across the different models. So the icon here has been one of our models that we've been using a lot this winter that has been rather accurate. And this is what it's painting a picture for. At least tomorrow is a very, very narrow corridor of snow across the US 10, maybe even the M20 region, over from Big Rapids over to the Port Hope region, and then some light flurries mixing in perhaps as the cold front, or I should say the low pressure system, swoops out into Ontario. And then we move into the Thursday time frame and some more snow passing by up north, perhaps a little bit of lake enhancement there, but it will be tough to tell. Then we get into that Friday time frame. Right now, as it stands, it looks like the snow's going to be pretty far to the north, but again, it only takes a 50-mile shift, and it could become a massive storm for the UP. Still too early to tell, of course, but we are definitely watching it. We'll switch over to the Canadian 2, which has been rather accurate this winter, and you can see kind of the same story in spots. Light accumulations pretty much across the lower peninsula, some lake enhancement for portions of Antrim County up there and near Gaylord, near Otsego County. And then as you get into the weekend time frame, that system on the Canadian swings a little bit further south. And then as you move into the next week, again, those warmer temperatures will dominate, so snow chances become a lot less. And for all things considered, we'll look at the GFS as well. Back it up here and show you what tomorrow has in store for snow. Again, kind of that same corridor there across the M46 region, so a little bit further south, bringing upwards of 1 to 3 inches of snow. And then as we get into our Thursday time frame, that kind of actually increases a little bit. Half of a snow, not really likely right now with how warm the temperatures are on the ground. It could melt very quickly as well, so something to consider. And then we have that storm perhaps for the weekend, again, even further south on the GFS here. it could bring perhaps another half an inch of snow there. So again, a lot of model discrepancy. You saw the icon that was that's been the most accurate this winter, throwing everything north, and these totals being a lot lower than actually being deceived on the others. So we're going to roll the icon for now, and as a result, we came up with the snow map early this morning. First for our Patreon members, trace to 1 inch of snow possible for portions of the Clare, Mount Pleasant, Alma, pretty much up and down that 127 corridor there between Harrison and Lansing. Then you have it all the way across the M46 region towards the Tri-Cities and even over to the west towards Big Rapids and Howard City. It is possible that we could see over an inch of snow, as you saw in the icon there. Upwards of 2 inches is possible, but our confidence with how big the warm sector is and how warm the ground temperatures are leads us to believe that anything over an inch will melt really quick, and it'll be hard to measure anything that does increase over 1 inch. And then up here in the UP, we have a trace to 1 inch for the possibility of some lake enhancement on the backside of the low, and with that trough that will be moving through into Thursday morning. Looking at the precipitation modeled across the region, this is off the NAM 3K. It's one of our higher resolution models here, and you can see this is the precipitation throughout the day tomorrow, showing a little bit of a later start even into the day, or even overnight into Thursday. So this could be more of a Thursday night, Friday sort of event where it has a lot of that backside snow popping in. So we might have to we will probably have to come up with a snowfall total for Thursday if this model holds true. And we have that troughing inversion there. It moves through on Thursday as well. And then some added lake enhancement before we get into Friday into Saturday. You can see that system just starting to pop on here up there north of Minnesota. That will probably swing down this way, given how these contours are laid out, following the contour lines there. And so with that being said, we also have to look at the possibility of some thunderstorms tomorrow because of how big the warm sector is. So if we forward this just ever so slightly, we're going to go switch it over to most unstable Cape. And this is your atmospheric juice. You can see a lot of purples here. And this is values under 1,000 joules per kilogram. That is enough to, get some elevated storms going, perhaps south of 94. And with the wind shear out there, it'll bring those storms pretty quickly off to the east. And we'll go and switch over to our convective. I believe there's a precipitation type here. So we can kind of see how the storms will develop for tomorrow. So you can see some of those brighter yellows and oranges indicative of perhaps some thunderstorms down there across the northern Indiana, northern Ohio region. Not many will make it up into southern Michigan, but a thunderstorm category has been added as a precautionary reason. Again, no severe weather is expected tomorrow with how low the Cape values are and everything else, but it is there. And that severe weather category, or I should say the thunderstorm category, looks like this. You can see anywhere in that light green area is your general thunderstorm category. We have not ourselves released a map product yet, but we are now in the process of making our own in-house graphics for our thunderstorm category, and we can guarantee that it would probably look something similar to this, although maybe a little bit further south, as our most unstable Cape does not look to go further north than the I-94 corridor. So with all that being said, it looks like tomorrow will be kind of that wild card day, I guess you could say, where you have snow to the north, and then it fills in further to the south as cold air funnels in overnight into Thursday. But you also have the chance of seeing at least 50 degrees tomorrow for portions of southern Michigan, southwest Michigan primarily. So you can see thunderstorms in the day and snow at night. One could be one of those scenarios. Also, given that temperature cutoff is so sharp, we are not expecting too much in the way of like freezing rain or drizzle. It's still definitely possible, right along that line. But again, the temperature jumping from 33 to 53 like that, it's going to be like that, cutting off very sharply. So all things considered, wildcard day tomorrow. We'll look for more snow on Thursday and perhaps a system coming in for Saturday, which we'll have more maps out on our Facebook page here in the coming days. So with all that being said, I'm Joel Fritsma, Chief Meteorologist at Michigan Storm Chasers, signing off for today's forecast. Before we do that, shout out to our sponsor of this video, Lifestyle Exteriors, 989-854-3055. That is your premier sponsor of the day. And again, if you want to be a sponsor here at Michigan Storm Chasers, you can reach out to us at contact@michiganstormchasers.com. I'm Joel Fritsma, and I will see you next time here at Michigan Storm Chasers.